Well, y'all want to see what $2,355 get you? That right there. John Deere, shame on you. There ain't no way that needs to be priced well over $2,000. So. All right, we got this thing serviced and ready to go. Now we're gonna do some diagnosing on our wheel angle sensor right here. Anyway, here's our wheel angle sensor. It's got a pigtail that comes down through this hydraulic hose down here to it. So we're gonna test to see what readings we're getting on this thing right here. All right, yesterday when I put this out on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends or followers was worked at John Deere and was nice enough to look up a DTAG case to give me the readings we're supposed to get on this plug, so that's what we're going to find out. All right, the first thing we're going to do, we got two wires here. I think it's 163 and 223 are the wire numbers, and we got to make sure that we got 5 volts coming in on these wires right here that powers the potentiometer. All right, we got it back probed on one wire. All right, and the DTAG says we're supposed to have 5 volts. We only got 1.78 volts. All right, the other wire, we got 5 volts, which is what it's supposed to be. All right, just rechecking the first one, yeah, it's showing low voltage. That might be the problem. All right, we're going to back probe the front side, make sure it's not a problem with the connector. No. Not a problem with the connector, so maybe we got a problem here in the wiring harness. All right, now the instructions say check for voltage on the dark green and yellow wires, which the yellow wire is 1244, and this one, it's kind of a grayish color instead of yellow. So we're supposed to get voltage on these wires, and as Andy turns the wheel, the voltage is supposed to change. So, all right, starting now, the voltage is at 2.49. All right, Andy, turn the wheel to the right. All right, we got voltage changing. All right, Andy, what's the voltage on the screen show? All right, Andy's saying that the wheel angle sensor voltage on the screen did not change. All right, turn it all the way to the right. I'm sorry, all the way to the left. Well, the wheel angle sensor is the only one we're concerned about. Alright, that's good. Alright, that wire is showing, it's reading like it should. Alright, we're going to check the other one now. Alright, we got the other wire back probed. Showing 1.53. Alright, Andy, turn the wheels the other way. And it's not changing at all. Alright, turn the wheel back straight. Alright, that's good. Alright, so we were getting voltage change on one of the wires, but we weren't getting voltage change on the 1244 wires, so we could have two problems here. The sensor could be bad, but we're also not getting the correct voltage on one of the wires either. Alright, Andy, turn the picker off. All right, well, that gives us the readings that we need. So let me do a little bit of investigating. All right, we took our sensor apart just to verify that nothing wrong with it. There's a stem in there that goes down in the kingpin that turns back and forth, and it's nice and tight. It's not freewheeling and everything, so that means it's making good connection with the kingpin. And then looking here at our potentiometer and everything, this roll pin is still good. Nothing's broke off on here that would prevent it not engaging right. And then I was inspecting the wires. I mean, all the wires look good and everything. This right here is a potentiometer. This is a sensor. You can't just buy this thing right here, which should be a whole lot cheaper. You got to buy this whole complete assembly right here. That's what $2,355. I mean, just absolutely ludicrous when this right here is the only parts you need, and it should be a heck of a lot cheaper. So anyway, my conclusion is we definitely got a bad sensor. That's definitely part of the problem. As far as the low voltage, I don't know, maybe it's grounding out, partially grounding out or something inside the sensor causing that low reading. I don't know, but we've definitely got a bad sensor because it's reading movement one way but not reading movement the other way. So I don't know. I mean, it's gotta be replaced. There's other functions on the picker that use the rear angle sensor other than auto steer, and there's going to be other things that's not going to work correctly. It's got to be replaced. So I guess I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to see if I can track down one of those aftermarket ones that's $650 or so cheaper than what the one from John Deere is, because I ain't giving John Deere that money. They done pissed me off enough as it is. I'll give that money to somebody else. All right, after further research, I have absolutely no choice but to give John Deere my money. I called Ag Express to see if they could repair that potentiometer. They said no, it is a non-serviceable proprietary John Deere part. Called all the salvage places in Missouri, Abilene Machine, every place else. Don't have any salvage parts available. Abilene Machine was supposed to have an aftermarket version, and that was about $600 cheaper. They said that they don't have any of those in stock. They come out of Brazil. They have absolutely no idea when or if they will get anything else in, considering, you know, all the freaking trade disruptions going on. They don't even have any on order. So anyway, Tennessee Tractor in Brownsville has one. I'm going to send Kelly go get it. I begged and pleaded with the guy. He was able to help me out a little bit on the price, but the thing is still just absolutely just obscenely priced. But that's what it's going to take to get the picker fixed. Like I said, I was doing some research, and there's other functions on there that use the wheel angle sensor that won't work or will go haywire without it working correctly. I know, like the differential lock needs the wheel angle sensor, and there's some other stuff. And I mean, no two ways about it. It's got to be fixed. So if it's broke now, it's still going to be broke next fall, and guarantee you the price is not going to be any cheaper for that part next fall. So go ahead and do it. We're gonna get a couple more loads of wrap loaded up here, and we'll be back picking cotton. Now, I know I said yesterday I can do a whole lot of steering for $2,300. What I cannot do is have that freaking thing go off literally every time I turn around, though. I mean, this thing already gives enough warnings as it is, and to have that completely go off, I mean, every time I turn, I'd be in the loony bin by the end of harvest. All right, well, I get the heads warmed up and the accumulator warmed up. I think it's about time we start picking some decent cotton. What do y'all say? That looks a whole lot different than the mess we've been in for a while. Yeah, we're all the way up here in Madison County on some of our best ground. We got some good bottom ground, and this cotton looked really good all year long. Just did not see the stress that we saw on other places. Now, I know yield's not going to be what it could have been down here, but compared to what we've been in, I expect this to be some dang good cotton. I mean, I expect this to be 1,000 plus, and if it's not, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed. Anyway, let me get the end rows picked and dive off in the middle. We'll see what it looks like. All right, we got the end rows done. Got a good bit of cotton off of them and taking off down through the middle of the field. Let's see what this good looking cotton is doing. Apparently it's apparently it looks better than it is. We're about 1,000. All right, let's try a different spot in the field. Maybe that just wasn't a good spot. I mean, this looks like some fantastic cotton, but I don't know. Maybe we need to recalibrate our yield monitor again. I mean, it's showing anywhere from 700 pounds to 1,100 pounds. Right here, well, 1,100, 900, 1,100. I don't know, it's saying we picked 5.5 acres and we just made our second module, so 8.5 bales, about 5.5 acres. I mean, what I picked, including the inrows, showing 760 pounds an acre. Just a rough guesstimate. Well, it's yielding enough to choke a door up, so. All right, maybe I can get a sentence out now without a unit choking up or somebody calling me. This is definitely worlds better than the last farm we came off, but considering what I was expecting, very disappointing. Unless this farm averages over, about 1,060 per acre, we're still losing money. Just not losing as much money per acre as the last farm. Now that being said, we're going off the yield monitor here and just some rough guesstimates about what's in every module, and the majority of that came off of inrows. So there's a decent chance that it's doing significantly better than what I was expecting. But if the yield monitor is accurate, this farm ain't doing no better than that very first farm that we picked, and that's really, really surprising. Anyway, let me get a little bit more of this picked and we'll revisit the situation.
Welcome to this beautiful Wednesday. It is October 15th and we are farming in the city. So this is going to be my challenge today. I have to get these bales up that incline without ripping the bottom. I'm going to do my best. I also have to watch traffic from the left and traffic from the right. So needless to say, it's going to be a stressful day. I had to go get parts. A $2,147 part that probably cost 75% of that in a couple years ago. 0 cents, but you know what? It does make sense because John Deere is the only one who makes cotton pickers, and pretty much any part on a John Deere cotton picker is jacked up so high. I think Snoop Dogg's in charge, so just makes it so awesome. Had to run, it was about an hour and 45-minute round trip. I'm back now. Matt is eating lunch. I stopped at Tractor Supply to get her some chews so that she stayed busy and didn't whine. She did really good. My dad is now showing up to come cut stalks because he has to pick up my sister on Wednesdays, so Andy was down here for a while. But we're just gonna do the best we can. These farms really test my anxiety, so let's see what we can do. Butt out here. Let's see what happens. Jesus. I have no steering. Get up on here. Oh, now I get it. Jeez. Don't stay right in front of there. Oh my gosh. Really? That's where I'm going. Come on. on, lady. Come on, man. Not even checking up. Not even checking up. Wow.
Well, we just got done down there in that bottom and moved up here to the hill, the other field on this particular farm number. And, you know, it looks fantastic, but according to my monitor, I mean, we just can't break that 4-digit mark. The bottom down there, according to my yield monitor, averaged 755 pounds. Now, I think it did better than that. I don't necessarily think my monitor's accurate, but it's definitely not the quality of cotton that I thought was down there, unfortunately. I mean, this whole spot up here, these 4 different farms, I mean, that was my hope for having some good cotton this year. And if they're not going to produce, it looks like our cotton crop is going to be every bit as disappointing as our soybean crop was. But even though it's not yielding great, at least it's pretty to look at. You know, it's nice and fluffy. It looks like there's a lot there. And who knows, once it gets ginned and we get the tickets back, we might be a little surprised on yield. I sure hope so, because right now we're losing big bucks on our cotton crop every single acre.
So the day gets even better. My hydraulic warning was going off. So I came up here and I thought, well, I don't have any hydraulic fluid. This tractor likes to leak. No, it's full. But then I look underneath, and where the 3-point hitch is, where the cylinders connect to the main casing, it's leaking from the main casing. I don't know, something happened when I went from the bottom up, because it has swayed a few times and I've heard it kind of slam. It could have jarred something loose in there, or I don't know. It was not leaking yesterday, because this tractor does leak hydraulic fluid, so I check it every morning. We're gonna lift this bale and move it, and I'm gonna see if it's a slow, tiny leak, or if it's a leak that I'm gonna have to call Matt about, because that's not an easy fix at all. I think that's an overhaul. And that's the problem I've been having. Did not do it yesterday, didn't do it the last couple of days. Now all of a sudden I have that leak, and this is what it does. So I have to stop, put it in park, and stop using my hydraulics. 2025 keeps giving so much. Problem is, we can't swap tractors, because that tractor over there that is hooked up to the spreader has the software for it. So I don't know. This is becoming very frustrating. Woo! She a heavy one. I think the problem is, as heavy as these are, and I'm going up at an angle to get out of there, this thing sways back and forth, and it could have done something. I don't know, but it's very nerve-wracking, because my front tires are not on the ground, and you're using the back tires, which have been locked, to basically push you up the hill. And I can't back out because of the traffic. So all right. Yep. She's a leaking. Right from there. That's just one bale I picked up. That's not good at all. So, I don't know.
Well, we just got done with the Smith family farm, about 19.5 acres, and not going off yield monitor, because I don't think we're reading quite right, but based upon the 8.33 modules that we made, that's what the average figures up at. You know, that's assuming 4 bales per module, which we don't know, but yeah, I sure was hoping for over 1,000, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But anyway, do have some good news. Hopefully we're gonna get rid of this annoying freaking sensor keeps on going off. Well, y'all wanna see what $2,355 gets you? That right there. In my case, a little bit cheaper, because Tennessee Tractor did give me a discount on it. Not a whole bunch of one, but they probably gave me all their profit margin on it. Probably sold it to me close to cost, but John Deere, shame on you. There ain't no way that needs to be priced well over $2,000. So anyway, y'all already seen me take the other one apart this morning, so I'm gonna slap it on and hopefully it'll calibrate and cure all my error messages that keep on popping up. All right, we just got the old sensor put back on there before I took the new one off and did some back probing there to see what kind of readings I was getting on it by, you know, twisting the potentiometer back and forth, and it was giving me the exact same readings that my old one was. So the sensor's obviously not the problem. I think what the problem is that one orange power wire that we weren't getting good voltage on. I think that's the problem. We were getting a solid 5 volts on one wire, and on the other wire, I'd occasionally maybe get 5 volts, but other times I was getting like 1.7, 2.5 volts, and I thought, well, I'm just not making real good connection, but apparently I wasn't. It's just giving me inconsistent voltage, and you know, when it's getting a full 5 volts, that's when we're seeing this work, right? But when it's not getting 5 volts, I think that's when it's going wrong, although it's impossible to verify. So I don't know if I've got a wiring issue, or maybe we've got a problem with the computer controller not sending out the proper voltage on that one pin. So yeah, that's not anything I can deal with now. We've got a storm system bearing down on. It's supposed to be here Saturday. I got all this pitiful cotton that's not going to do any favors by being out in the weather. So I'm just going to tune out the alarm just like I tune out my kids. And when we do get a rainy day, maybe try to do a little bit more diagnosing then. But my next step's going to be finding the controller, finding out where that orange wire, what pin it goes into on the controller, and seeing what the output is on that pin. If we got a solid 5 volts there at the controller, but we're not getting it back there on the wiring harness, then we obviously got an issue with a wire somewhere in that wiring harness. That's all I know to do right now anyway. I don't mind electrical problems when I got the time to properly diagnose them. You know, I look at it as a challenge, but out in the field when you need to be picking cotton and trying to diagnose intermittent electrical problems is freaking aggravating, and especially when they're intermittent. That's the most frustrating thing ever. I don't know about what it is about this spot on this farm, but 3 years ago when we last had cotton on this farm, this spot on this field was, I think it was the highest we picked all year long. I think at that time, that year, I mean, I think it was like 1,900, 2,000 pounds per acre. I mean, just absolutely mind-blowing cotton. In fact, I mean, 2 module builders running with that basket picker could not keep up. It was that good. And I don't know what it is about that one spot. I've had soil test pulled. I mean, I can't tell anything special on the soil test, but whatever it is, it can grow the heck out of some crops. I think all my crops. I think wheat's done fantastic there. Corn has done really good there. And for whatever reason, I mean, cotton loves it. Man, if I had 1,600 acres of that type of ground, I don't think I'd have much to worry about. And it's not even bottom ground. We're up here on a hill here, and outside of that one spot, I mean, you know, we're dealing with, you know, 700-800 pound cotton. You know, nothing special, better than what we've been doing on a lot of the ground. But that one spot, I don't know, about 3 or 4 acres through there that just, it's mind blowing. You can see that good spot plain as day right there. See all this dark area, and then there's a line of white of where that good spot. I mean, it's very stark difference right there. I'd love to know what's different about that. Man, all I've done today is literally get up and down off this picker. I haven't been messing with the sensor, changing wrap, unplugging unit. Now it's time for my 6-hour greasing. And I just got down last round to unplug a unit. But this picker's got an onboard greaser And every 6 hours we have to grease all of these heads. Each one of those bars has to be filled all the way up with grease. And then looking up there at the top of the head, you know, all those gears and everything, all of that stuff gets greased with cotton picker spindle grease every 6 hours. Anyway, instead of sitting there holding the button on the tether, we can put it right there, and then I can walk around and check all the tops of the heads. Make sure grease is going to each head. Make sure we don't have a busted grease line or anything. I've had that happen before, and then got to take the complete head off, send it to Delta Spindle, cause every bar and gear in there is galled up if it doesn't get greased. I know you can't see it, but I want to grease it until we see grease coming out the top of every bar where that drive gear is. All right, maybe that'll be the last time I gotta get off picker today. I doubt it. Maybe I'll get lucky. That's what I'm talking about. Good cotton through here. For the year anyway. Enjoy it while it lasts. It might not last for long. A long day. I'm done with it. We only got a grand total of like 40 acres done today between messing with that sensor and then over here on this field. There for about an hour and a half, I literally had to get down every round because I either had a choke up, chain drap, something else going on. This machine is wonderful when it's working, but dadgum, sometimes it can be the most aggravating thing you've ever run in your life. And this afternoon, it was aggravating. Anyway, gonna get down here, get the heads cleaned out, and be ready for hopefully a lot of acres tomorrow. Because we need to play some catch up.